got to celebrate it. You gotta make sure that you treasure it. School and life, forget the nonsense. It's irrelevant. Be what you put your mind to. You could be the president. Greatness you achieve for your people, you gotta represent.
It goes up, up, and away, yeah. Today's the best day ever, you're off and on your way. Up, up, and away, yeah. We parlay in the morning, we party throughout the day. Up, up, and away, yeah. Up, up, underlay, yeah. Up, up, and away, yeah. School ain't like the only way.
I'm your host, Casey Williams, and welcome to another episode of Schooling Life. Today our topic is talking about creating a safe space. But first, I would like to introduce you to our guests.
I'm Elijah.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Relda.
I'm Janaya.
I'm Phoenix.
So let's go ahead and build context. What is a safe space?
In my opinion, a safe space is somewhere where you can be your complete self without feeling like you have to try to alter it due to the people around you.
Definitely. I consider my space to be somewhere that I can go where I can embrace the positive and negative aspects of myself and love on myself a lot more.
I feel a safe space is somewhere where you can exist without having to feel judgment placed on you.
All right, so in understanding what you all are saying, a safe space is a neutralized space where you can discover more things about yourself. Why are spaces of safety important? Why are these spaces important?
Can I go?
Yeah.
They allow good, more authentic ideas to be produced without fear of hostility and being judged and all that.
I agree. I think it's important because when you step out into public, while you are yourself, you also have to chip off pieces of it because there's a time and place for everything. So to be able to be your complete self is good. It's a good feeling.
I think safe spaces are also important because they help build confidence in yourself, so that when you walk out into the world, you don't have to worry about others' opinion.
They also create a space where there's no need to change who you are.
Right, and you understand now, as I am, is more than enough, and the world has to make an adjustment to accommodate me, instead of us allowing for the world to impose its will on you. So when talking about non-biased spaces, how do you implement those spaces in your own lives? What are some things that you're doing internally and externally to create a safe space for yourself?
Internally, I do a lot of affirmations now. One of my old teachers, she would come and I had a conversation with her a few days ago, and she told me to come up with 3 affirmations, and we found a way to combine all those affirmations together so that I have to say them 100 times a day so that I get used to me saying it and I start to believe it even if I didn't believe it before.
Okay.
Internally, having an open mind, and externally surrounding yourself with others who have an open mind and can respect your thought process.
Definitely.
Similarly, I have a tendency to have a repetition of things that I like to say to myself in order to allow my mind to not be restricted by anything.
And like Kevin said, I have something I say to myself internally too. Like before a game, I might say I'm finna drop 20, and it'll bring me more confidence when I go into the game. And externally, I'll listen to music or go to a quiet place so I can get my thoughts together. For sure.
You guys do a really good job of actually creating a non-biased space for yourself. When we're talking about in the ideal realm, just being open to what is flowing through you is something that is important. And then also having a way that you can express yourself. One of the ways that I create a safe space is allowing for me to do what I like to do. So I like to look a certain way. I like to smell a certain way. I like to think a certain way. And making sure that I just wake up and I start practicing those things immediately when I wake up, and actually when I sleep. Sometimes I even take meditative naps so that I am able to focus and do what I need to do so that I can be who I like to be, because internally it feels great. So how do you think not having safe spaces affects the human?
I feel like not having a safe space affects the human body because it starts to take a toll on your mental health. I feel like having that space and that time to be able to get yourself together, especially when you're dealing with situations that you may not know how to navigate through, especially when you don't have those people who can uplift you during those situations, it's very you really do need that timing, that space, because if not, people sink into depression. People just don't want to be here anymore, and knowing that you have that safe space to go to can help so many problems.
Psychologically speaking, an enriched environment is essential for growth, especially at a young age. And so, not having a place of safety can really impact the ability of growth. And even if your potential is somewhere much higher than someone else's, it can be limited due to the environment that you're in.
I like that you bring up safety. When we talk about Maslow's theories of hierarchy, and you're talking about self-transcendence, when you're talking about self-actualization, and then meeting the basic needs of the human being, you know, the first thing you have to have is food, water, and safety. So safety is crucial to the wellness of the human mind, the human body, and the human spirit. And so if you don't have those spaces, it does lead for a lot of health issues. And so not having safe spaces ultimately affects us internally as well as externally. What are some things that what are some approaches that you're taking right now to make sure to create a non-biased or safe space? What are some things that you do for yourself?
I don't know. I just try to make sure that I have confidence to do anything and don't worry about the views of other people.
I like to practice having a proper mindset when it comes to approaching new tasks or new environments in my life.
If I feel myself getting too stressed out, I like to try to take a step back to just calm myself down, because if I am too stressed out, nothing will get done.
I create my environment by making sure that I have my piano, so I take time to learn new songs, I paint, and I write my poetry.
For sure. I just do stuff that makes me happy.
All right. Actually, everything that you all just mentioned ultimately sounds like something that I do. I call it the discovery zone. And so anytime an idea or something new emerges in me, I give myself space to pursue it or even not. But more often than not, anytime there is an idea that is birthed to me, I feel like it is my responsibility to just kind of play with it, to see what it lends of itself. And not being judgmental about what comes of it, but allowing for what idea is flowing to kind of have its own process and its own procedure really is rewarding for me. And so when we're talking about creating a safe space internally and externally, allowing for ideas to flow, being non-biased towards myself as well as others, are approaches that I take internally and externally to make sure that I'm creating a safe space within myself so that I can lend that to other people. Do you guys have any closing remarks?
I think safe spaces just refer to confidence. Like you said, having a shelter, food, water, that builds confidence and allows us to grow and try new things.
I think it's important that everybody takes the time to find a safe place, and if they don't have one, to go and get one.
Mm-hmm. And regardless of wherever you are, you know, there are always books. There are always hiking. There's always a space that you can go, whether it is internally or externally. There is a piece of joy that you can get a hold of. And if you can get a hold of that joy, that love, that reverence, it can really be transformative. So in building a more equitable, mindful, and sustainable world, remember that you are in control of your life. So always school your life. All right.
Best day ever, you're off and on your way. Up and away, yeah. We parlay in the morning, we party throughout the day. Up and away, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Up on delay, yeah. Up and away, yeah.
Yes, sir.
School is like the only way.
School is important in life, you gotta be educated. Go through life with no regrets, cause you regret if you hesitate. And strive to be the best, the obstacles gon' leave you aggravated. But once you succeed, you gon' figure you have to celebrate it. You gotta make sure that you treasure it. School and life, forget the nonsense, it's irrelevant. Be what you put your mind to, you could be the president. Greatness you achieve for your people, you gotta
It
represent.
goes up and away, yeah. Today's the best day ever, you're off and on your way. Up and away, yeah. We parlay in the morning, we party throughout the day. Up and away, yeah. Up on delay, yeah. Up and away, yeah. School ain't like the only way. Each day when you wake up, either you're taking intentional steps to being your best self, or you're moving further away from your truth and your goals. There is a difference between being self-focused and self-centered. Value yourself. Love yourself.
Hype yourself up because you're dope. It is perfectly okay to be your biggest fan with purpose. Yo, you got this.